from the station that's working for you. You're watching Fox 4 News at 9.
All right, drivers south of the metro are in for some major delays tomorrow after multiple lanes collapse on westbound 470. That collapse is forcing MoDOT to close part of Three Trails Crossing. It happened where westbound 470 meets 435, a part of the highway MoDOT was monitoring all week. Fox 4's Megan Cloherty is working for you live in Kansas City with details of what happened. Megan? And as Megan said, a lot of drivers count on those ramps. So how do you get around the mess? Fox 4's Nick Vassos is working for you with some alternate routes.
If you use the triangle,
just call in sick, right? I mean, what are you going to do?
Put up the garage.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, that bridge mess is setting off, as you can imagine, a firestorm of controversy on our website. Kel Jolie says it has been wrong since it was built. Court J writes the entire area is prone to sinkholes, and they knew that well before construction ever started. You can weigh in too by going to our homepage on fox4kc.com. Well, the heat is reaching dangerous levels in Kansas City, and because of that, your local Metro Y has opened its doors to anyone wanting some relief. It gave people a chance to cool off and spend the day indoors. All you have to do is show them a driver's license, and everything is free of charge. Y employees say they usually do this anytime the heat index is over 100 degrees. So how long do you think that will be, Joe?
Well, it's going to be that way.
Former Kansas City Chiefs running back Larry Johnson escapes jail, but he did not escape the wrath of a judge. That judge scolded him for not finishing his community service requirements and says he must complete it all by March. Johnson was sentenced for disturbing the peace in incidents involving women at Kansas City nightclubs. He's on 2 years probation and was ordered to work with children at the Kansas City Police Athletic League. It's been 3 days, and it appears that BP's cap has stopped the flow of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. But now, families in the area are asking, what's next? And helping boost the Gulf Coast economy, pilots fly in with the right stuff to make it happen. You're watching Fox 4 News. We're working for you. We're under an excessive heat warning, so stay inside and drink plenty of water are just a couple of the recommendations to stay safe. But often, people can find themselves defenseless against the heat. Fox 4's Dave Dunn is here with how baseball fans were affected at the K and the changes it caused the stadium. Dave?
Yeah, Stephanie.
The Gulf Coast economy has taken a hit ever since the huge oil spill, but now some pilots are taking action, hoping to inspire others to make a change. And it's still summer, but the fall election battles have already begun, and Republicans and Democrats are making some pretty big predictions. You're watching Fox 4 News. We're working for you.
Looking for the chilly weather, head to Barrow, Alaska. About 35 degrees right now, and the sun does not set. Hasn't snowed there yet, but...
And Joe says he's taking us all, so
yes.
Feel free to sign up. Go to his website.
I'm going to pay the air conditioner bill first.
Okay.
And then with the extra 5 cents, we're all jumping on a cruise and heading to Alaska.
Hey, I almost forgot how cold it was last summer. Oh my
Remember
gosh,
how it was a great, what a great summer that was last year.
I call it great, but...
A couple of record lows in the summer. That's not bad, though.
Okay, according to you. Thanks, Joe.
Okay.
Okay, BP says it's pleased that a cap has stopped the flow of oil in the Gulf of Mexico since Thursday. But the government's point man says scientists are poring over pressure readings at the well. Now, they're worried about any new leaks in the seabed. Meantime, many along the Gulf Coast are wondering what lies on the horizon. New Orleans residents say they don't want the cleanup effort swept under the rug. Gulf restaurant owners hope the tourism industry can bounce back and say their seafood is safe to eat. Efforts to boost the Gulf Coast economy are soaring. Around 60 people, most of them pilots, flew into Gulf Shores with one thing in mind: to spend money. Carrie Chow has the story.
One drawback in flying, you can't go to the bars.
Well, most of the pilots flew back the same day. Organizers plan to make more trips like this in the future. And a shakeup within the Tea Party, how the group is trying to distance itself from a branch accused of racism. You're watching Fox 4 News, working for you. 2 Metro boys drowned this past week. Now 2 churches are coming together to share their grief. And skydivers take their own risks, but they say what one Navy SEAL did was just plain dangerous. How his case is calling attention to the risks of base jumping. You're watching Fox 4 News, working for you. Two Metro Haitian boys drowned in a swimming pool at a camp last week. Last night, the bodies of 15-year-old Nemson Sanan and 14-year-old Gael Crispin returned from Iowa to Kansas City. Today, as Fox 4's Bob Stepanich reports, two churches came together in one service to share their grief. That's Fox 4's Bob Stepanich reporting. The first time these two churches met together was the first Sunday following the Haitian earthquake. Today, they met again following yet another tragedy. We now know the names of a little girl and a man who drowned at Smithville Lake yesterday. The Missouri Water Patrol says they were 7-year-old Hannah Gert and 27-year-old Ricky Rayford, both of Kansas City. The patrol says they both drowned after Rayford panicked while in the water and went under. Police are investigating a woman's murder overnight in Kansas City, Kansas. It happened around 3 a.m. near 36th and Freeman. One person was killed, but officers aren't saying how the murder happened. Tonight on Fox 4 News at 10, the victim's family comes together to push for justice.
Steph.
All right, thanks, Joe. Fox 4 working for you with new job openings. Alexis Corporation in Olathe is looking for a test technician. Email your resume to the address there on your screen. For more job listings, check out fox4kc.com. Just click on the jobs link. Religion and the workplace, two things that don't typically have much in common, right? But in the past 3 decades, the corporate chaplain concept has taken off, and it is making enormous strides right here in the Metro. Wednesday on Fox 4 News at 9, we'll show you the emotional impact this program has on employees. That's Wednesday, right after So You Think You Can Dance. Some vintage airplanes have been restored to their former beauty, and now they're available for everyone to see. Planes actually dating back to World War II went on display at New Century Airport for the Heart of America Wings Air Expo. Many who came out today got to take a ride in the old planes, including veterans who flew them during the war. The death of a Navy SEAL in Virginia is calling attention to the risks of base jumping. The Navy says Tyler Stimson of New Hampshire was killed after jumping from a phone tower while strapped with a parachute. Kay Young has more from Suffolk. Kay Young reporting the Navy SEAL had a jumping partner. He was charged with trespassing. Well, they're instruments with quite the history, but find out how one guitar maker is using pieces of a famous amphitheater to keep the music living on. And Zsa Zsa Gabor rushed to the hospital while the 93-year-old actress will need surgery. You're watching Fox 4 News, working for you.
The beginning of a dream.
We're dreaming?
The thriller Inception is the weekend's top box office draw. The Leonardo DiCaprio tale about a team that sneaks into people's dreams pulled in more than $60 million. Last week's #1, the animated hit Despicable Me, fell to second place with $32 million. Disney's The Sorcerer's Apprentice opened with just $17 million. Well, one person's trash is another's treasure, right? That premise has connected carpentry, music, and history. A Colorado man is making new guitars from the seats of an amphitheater that has hosted countless concerts. Cheryl Priam shows us why you can't just judge something by the way it looks. That's Cheryl Priam reporting. Worthington thinks he bought enough of the salvage wood from the old Red Rocks benches to make 75 to 100 guitars. Zsa Zsa Gabor took a spill and now has to have surgery. The 93-year-old actress broke a hip during a fall in her Bel Air home and needs to have the hip replaced. She fell out of bed while watching Jeopardy! Gabor appeared in movies such as Moulin Rouge and Queen of Outer Space. The battle over illegal immigrants is a controversial one, and one that these young people aren't taking lightly. Their fight this week to become U.S. citizens. From potential contender to dud, the Royals take a dive, but can they work their way out of this mess? Joe?
Hopefully they will. We've got Toronto coming into town. And
Tonight at 10, the WWE is in Kansas City. See how a wrestling superstar made a special wish come true for a special kid. And a vigil for the victim of a deadly shooting in KCK. We'll have the latest on the investigation and what friends and family are saying about it. That's coming up on Fox 4 News at 10. Well, the summer heat is intense across the Midwest, but some people have the right idea. Many are cooling off poolside. Others are simply staying inside air-conditioned rooms. Kansas City has been under an excessive heat warning, and that means expect a prolonged period of dangerously hot temperatures. I think I prefer the pool over
Yeah.
the air-conditioned room.
Always see about that. I don't want to stick it in yet, but just a heads up.
If it comes, will it cool things down a little
Yeah, it
bit?
would cool things down, kind of like what happened on Friday night, where the humidity stayed high, but the temperature dropped nicely.
Okay, good. Thank you, Joe. Well, somewhere...
Wait. I went to the game on Saturday, wishing I went on Friday. I felt like a hot roasted peanut out there last night. It was tough.
It was rough all weekend,
I
I
have
think.
a funny visual of you as a hot
Hot
roasted
roasted.
peanut.
All you had to do was check it out last night. Me and the family roasted. Just 10 days ago, we
Go to the jig. Yeah.
I think that's a sports
go
bar,
there.
okay, where they serve ale, and
I think it sounds like it would be a lot of fun.
I think he's probably 6 hours time difference. Probably left the jigger by now. Maybe not.
The
Won the British
Jigga.
Open. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jigger.
okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. They dream of becoming U.S. citizens, but find out how young activists plan to put a new face this week on the debate over immigration reform. And swimming from continent to continent, the unique challenge hundreds of people are taking. You're watching Fox 4 News, working for you. Protesters disrupted the opening of an international AIDS conference in Austria. They stormed the area, accusing wealthy nations of not delivering on promises to provide AIDS medications to all. About 20,000 policymakers, experts, and advocates are attending this week's conference. They're hoping to build more momentum to fight the disease. AIDS affects an estimated 33 million people worldwide. Tens of thousands of undocumented young people graduate from American high schools each year. For those who entered the U.S. before age 16, there's now a renewed push to give them a shot at becoming U.S. citizens. Kate Bolden has the story. Kate Bolden reporting there. Immigrant advocacy groups are planning to rally on Capitol Hill Tuesday. More than 800 people swam from Asia to Europe today. It's the annual race in Turkey. Swimmers crossed a 4-mile seaway dividing the continents of Asia and Europe. Organizers say more people took part this year than ever before. That included many amputees and disabled swimmers, as well as foreigners, and both the young and the old.
I'm 14, going to be 15 soon, and it feels great to swim from Asia to Europe, and I think it's amazing, and the water felt really good today.
I bet it did. The Turkish swimmer won first place, clocking in at 41 minutes and 20 seconds.